एरिया एनक्लेव के एन वस्त में मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी, मरगला के पहाड़ों के हसीन व्यू लिए वर्ल्ड क्लास बेहतरीन फैसिलिटीज और एमिनिटीज के साथ 2 और 3 बेडरूम के सुपर लग्जरी लाइफस्टाइल अपार्टमेंट और शॉपिंग मॉल। हर अपार्टमेंट विला जैसा रोशन और कुशादा। बुकिंग और तफसीलात के लिए अभी कॉल करें।
मैं अपने ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी बहनों और भाइयों के लिए ला रहा हूँ एक शानदार प्रोजेक्ट मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी। तफसीलात के लिए रब्ता कीजिए शराज बदर 5198078771। ईमेल कीजिए shiraz@propertybrothers.com।
Are you concerned about your future? We invite you to consider Option Canada.
I'm a former Canadian immigration officer and a senior case analyst, and I've served the Canadian government for 16 years. I provide accurate assessment on every case, and I'll be happy to assist you in making Canada your home.
For the past 26 years, we have assisted professionals, business people, senior managers, and the self-employed worldwide to relocate to Canada. We can help you and loved ones back home live the Canadian dream.
Do it once, do it right.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
Hello everyone, welcome to Straight Bat with Devesh. Today I have called the person who is responsible to run cricket administration in a province which hosts or which has 90% of cricketers and cricketing activities in Canada. So you can imagine the demanding job he goes through and he has taken upon. So welcome Mr. Zafar. Welcome to the show, and my first question to you will be, what it is to be the biggest, the president of the biggest association in country?
Okay. Thank you, Devesh, for inviting me as a representative of the Cricket Ontario, which is a governing body of cricket in Ontario.
Yeah.
And my name is Shah Zafar.
Okay.
It is an honor to be serving the province which holds the largest population of cricket interest in Canada, and it is a huge responsibility because when you are the representative of this high, the profile province, there are a lot of pressure in order to deliver the programs and development of cricket in here.
Yeah.
So I am hoping that my previous background from president of minor hockey and major sports in Canada, and the representing as a board member of YMCA in North Bay for 5 years, board of directors. So those management experience has given me the opportunity to learn a lot from those areas. And before I accepted this job, one of my friends came and says, okay, well, cricket needs some, the people with administrative knowledge, experience, and so come and assist us. So I just got involved with it.
So I will lead to this conversation, and the first question probably is that because you have a very rich experience of sporting administration, right? So when you came into the cricket administration, what was your first thought process, and what you thought about the environment of sporting as a whole in Ontario?
I think it's not a secret, but it's just that people have to understand that any successful organization has a solid foundation to build on, right? If you don't have a foundation to build on, then the foundation is not going to go long, right?
Yeah.
So first thing that my experience taught me was that you look at the bottom, build your team to go up, right? And building a team takes a little bit of a time, right? And then you build a structure with that team that how the management part of it's going to be developed first, right? Before you start going into development programming of it. So if your management is sound, management has a transparency, and management has the people who are going to assist in running the organization, then the second phase will be easier for me.
But with due respect, Mr. Shah Zafar, I see there is a little bit problem in your management team, and you are welcome to differ with me. what I see that there are a lot of conflict of interest going around in cricket as a whole. Not blaming you or one particular person or other person, but I see that there are a lot of people there is where you can say, okay, this looks to me a conflict of interest, and Cricket Ontario is also not exception. So when I see at your management team, I see one guy, Mr. Prem Prasad. He is also president of BEDCL, if I am not wrong.
Yes.
So don't you think it is a conflict of interest? I am not blaming anything here, but
no, I think
a fair question, I guess.
Yeah, I think you generalize it first, and then you be a little bit more specific, right? So I'm going to speak to you on a general term first, right?
Yeah.
The conflict of interest depends on the constitution and bylaws that your association has. Built on that, then you develop the conflict of interest guideline, right? So if you go to our website, you will find the conflict of interest, the policy and procedures there, and that defines you that what is a conflict of interest at what stage or what stage is not, right? So if the bylaw says that the person can be a president of another association, right, and it could be a member of the board for Cricket Ontario, and it allows that to happen, then there's no conflict of interest in that sense, right? Our membership, right, our membership according to the Constitution is a membership of the leagues, and the league memberships are the members are the teams, right? So each member is a league member is a member of Cricket Ontario. So if they want to send the representation by president or vice president or secretary or the non-board member, it is their prerogative to do that, right? But our Constitution does not pretend or does not stop anybody from be a member of the Cricket Ontario Board of Directors.
Yeah, it is another story though. I don't know how this constitution is written, but it is written by the members only with the consent of the members, right?
No,
So-
I think, sorry for interruption a little bit. All the bylaws are written by the approval or guidelines of the government, right?
Government of
Our
Canada.
bylaws is changed as a member makes some amendments to it, but bylaws to be defined by the members, right? It is the law. It doesn't matter where you go and which promise you look at it or organization is always being established by the board of members and organization itself, but within the parameter and guidelines of the government, right? Government policies and procedures. So our Constitution has recently been changed a little bit, and we are sending it for the legal review of those, and it has been under process of going through the legal review. When the legal review comes back, right, then it will go back to the Board of Control, all members, and they will rectify it, and then it will be published again as a legal document.
Yeah, that's fine, but still I am not very convinced that how can be a person who is also a member and president of one of your important member becomes the part of the member management team and vice president. It is looks to me a conflict of interest, but if it is fine, if it is as per the rules and regulations. But I think going forward, my suggestion to all the association is to look into this matter, where I see, conflict of interest is very glaring. So I think we should consider that.
No, I don't think it is the right statement that I would agree with it. I think you should, first of all, if you really want to discuss that topic of conflict of interest by the members who's been elected by the members, right, then you really have to define what do you think the conflict of interest definition is, right? And where is the conflict of definition exist, right?
Yeah.
Then we can rectify that, yes, this is part of it. If you look at our conflict of interest policy, I think it's clearly defined at what role the person is involved and what discussion person is involved. It's shared that is conflict of interest, that person should not be part of it, right? So within those guidelines that are there, and they're approved by the legal person, the legal people, and they're approved by the government.
Okay.
That, these are the solid conflict of interest guidelines published on the thing. We believe in the transparency, and especially my team believe in the transparency and the proper protocols for everything what we do.
Oh, I believe that, and as you said that if we want to discuss this topic, I think we can go further into this, and today is not the day for discussing that. So I will leave that at that point, and maybe sometime later we will discuss about the conflict of interest, because as per my opinion, I see it as a clear, I am not blaming anybody, I am saying that is fine if it is adhering to the policy and the regulations and the policies laid down by the government. that's fine.
No,
But
policy doesn't lay down. Policy is always established by the organization.
correct, with
Government
the
does not-
guidelines by
guideline within their guidelines. So
Yeah.
if I wish that you would have, you should, if you have probably had reviewed the policy of conflict of interest on our website.
Yeah.
If not, I would say that you review it, and if you do think that there's a conflict different, I'll be more than happy to tell the viewers, right,
Okay.
that what that is, and I'll be happy to
Yeah.
give
Okay.
you the explanation.
Fair
of it.
enough.
There has to be a transparency in my belief.
Yes,
And I
agree.
believe in open discussion.
No, very much, and I'm totally convinced about it that you are a very open person, and you have nothing to hide. So
Absolutely
I
not.
believe that. So let's talk about something very important you did last few weeks, right? So which was called Central T20. So would you like to tell my audience what was the objective of organizing Central T20?
Central T20 is the Cricket Canada initiative in order to highlight the upcoming talent,
Okay.
and basically it is the talent finding tournament,
Tournament, okay.
where is hosted by Cricket Ontario,
Mhm.
is sponsored by Cricket Canada. So as an Ontario, obviously, as you indicated before, that 80 to 90% of the population play cricket here, and they're very advanced level. So what we do is that we go out and select the 4 Ontario team from our members, right? And this year we put in 5 teams, and our one of our criteria of our selection is to give the youngster less than 30 opportunity, as many as we can. Sometimes we cannot, but as many as we can, to come and participate in this tournament and show their skill. So,
Okay, so let me rewind it a little bit to understand it properly. So you said that when you send the invitation to all the leagues to come and join this, you clearly stated that the players should be within the age limit. So there are certain criteria which you laid down, and as per that criteria, the players were selected and sent it to the tournament. That's the thing.
yeah, let me perhaps were not able to explain properly, or may not come out that way. We set the criteria that we advise all the league members, right, to preferably select the people who are in less than 30, right, to give them an opportunity to showcase their talent in this particular tournament.
Correct.
Where Cricket Canada selector comes and watch those tournaments and select the pool of players, which will be their mandate when they will call them to further go down and streamline the talent that they're looking for, right? So this year we had it for 4 teams, East to Ontario East, which is the combined team from Ottawa, Scarborough League, and Northern Ontario were brought in one team, so they share the pair pool. Then we have Ontario West. We share the pair pool with Hamilton District Cricket League, Mississauga Cricket League, and Southern Western Ontario Cricket League.
Very good.
They were combined one. There was, because there are 2 major leagues in Toronto, play teams, Toronto District Cricket Association and the Brampton Cricket, Edobigo Cricket League.
Yeah.
So they were given a chance to produce a full team. So they put the full teams in there because the talent was high. And then we added the Ontario under 23 team. We had an open trial, and then we selected the Ontario 23 team. So players in there were all under 23 players, right? And then we invited Canada under 19 team, which is going for qualifier, to come and play in that tournament. So these were our 5 teams from there. We invited the 6 teams, and we invited the team from Quebec and Manitoba to participate. And this is how the tournament went.
And there was a talk about that you are also, and there was an invitation for the HP program or development team as well from Cricket Canada.
Yeah, we did send an invitation to them, but I think their team was not prepared because most of the team were playing in the league. Most of their players were playing in the league, right? So it was their call. So they said I believe that their opportunity for the under 19 to develop and prepare for the qualifier. So they choose to put that team in, so give them an opportunity to have a competition to assess what their weakness is in order to prepare them for the next week.
Okay,
qualifier.
because of under 19 championship, that's
Qualifier,
why
yeah.
the reason they didn't send
Most likely, yes.
it. Yeah, but I heard like people like Arsalan Khan and Faisal Jamakandi and other talented players who are already in HP program, if I'm not wrong, they failed to appear in the tournament because of this confusion, I guess.
I don't think there was a confusion. This is something that Cricket Canada decision, so I think you should. It would be appropriate that you ask that question with them, not me.
Very well, yeah. So, and it seems to me that it was very important tournament as far as creating a pool of talent is concerned. But I always fail to understand when you are organizing such a big tournament, which is very important for the career of the players, why we have to organize those tournament on unnatural or artificial turf. Isn't it better that we judge those talent on the natural turf, whereas actually when they will go and face the international arena, they will have to face on the natural turf, right?
Well, there are a couple of hurdles in that sense. I'm going to be very honest with you, right?
Yeah.
The shortage of turf wickets in Ontario is a reality, right? It's a reality. Demand is high, but the wickets are shorter, right?
Yeah.
City of Mississauga seems to have the more turf wickets than any other cities have it. Brampton doesn't have any turf wicket at this particular time.
Yeah.
And the only other place that we could have the turf wicket is King City. Due to the weather condition this year, King City turf wicket is not available until the coming week, right? So all their Super League games are still being done on the matting, right?
Yeah.
Mississauga was the only city that has a turf wicket, but Mississauga city policy is that they have given permit to their local clubs and to organizations, to leagues to do it, and they don't want to take it away. Right? So if that happens, then Cricket Ontario is basically stuck with whatever the best is available.
Yeah.
But I'm very optimistic that the way the Brampton City has come forward and taking the little leadership in developing the grounds and the fields, soon, I think next year, we may not have this problem.
Okay. So next year we'll see that better planning and with a better planning as well as availability of the ground, we'll see all these matches on the natural turf.
Yeah, the planning has no issues there because our planning was there. We send the notice to all the other people where the turf is available, but unfortunately, due to weather, the King City was ruled out because they still, U19 is even not playing on the turf wicket, and Mississauga policies still is there. Now, we have under 16 tournament coming up, and we send the notice to in August, right? So we send them a notice now that we need those turf wickets for under 18 tournament at the Danville Park, right? But we were told it's not available because the local clubs and the leagues are playing the matches there. So if they don't want it to be overused.
So this is my innocent, very, very, when I think about it, that Cricket Ontario as an association can't earmark some of the grounds for their vital tournaments.
But you see, these grounds are not, the privately owned grounds or is a community-based. In Canada, all the grounds that you see everywhere except King City, right, and Toronto Cricket Club, all are the community grounds, right? Means that they're managed, maintained, right, and the permit is issued by the cities, right?
Correct.
So whatever the city policy is of how they want to satisfy the community and groups, this is how their policy is. So we cannot go and demand the city say, well, I live in Burlington, right, and somebody lives in Mississauga and then says, okay, I want to have this ground for Cricket Ontario. City will say, no, we'll give you permit for whatever you need if the user group based in the city, right, is the focus group, right? And they say that, no, we need it, and they don't release it, then we don't get the ground.
But are you in a talk or collaborating with the Cricket Canada to have some stadium for, Cricket Canada activities where Cricket Ontario can also utilize? I'm just asking.
No,
a longer roadmap.
I think it's
because this problem will always be there, I guess. So, but the way the cricket is growing in Ontario, I think we need some dedicated ground for development programs and those kind of things.
I totally agree with you, and I think you have to look at the longer vision and bigger picture, right? And perhaps the future, right? There has to be a partnership, in my view, right? And there has to be a vision to develop a ground where Cricket Canada, Cricket Ontario can live together and then make a use of it. But I think we are at the stage where we are still establishing our organization to the professional level, right? And we will initiate the discussion at the later. I am hoping that because of G20 has come to Toronto, and they are very supportive of the cricket development in Canada, I'm sure that Cricket Canada is a major partner with them, and they will bring this discussion on the table. When that comes up, obviously Cricket Ontario would like to be part of it and contribute from the financial perspective wherever our funding sources are or the sponsorship to make it happen.
Okay, so with this, we come to an end of the first half. See you after the break.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
When you are unable to secure a loan, credit, or a mortgage, give me a call. I will get you commitment. That is my commitment. 416-300-9292.
एरिया इनक्लेव के एन वस्त में मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी, मरगला के पहाड़ों के हसीन व्यू लिए वर्ल्ड क्लास बेहतरीन फैसिलिटीज और एमिनिटीज के साथ 2 और 3 बेडरूम के सुपर लग्जरी लाइफस्टाइल अपार्टमेंट और शॉपिंग मॉल। हर अपार्टमेंट विला जैसा रोशन और कुशादा। बुकिंग और तफसीलात के लिए अभी कॉल करें।
मैं अपने ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी बहनों और भाइयों के लिए ला रहा हूँ एक शानदार प्रोजेक्ट मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी। तफसीलात के लिए रब्ता कीजिए शराज बदर 5198078771। ईमेल कीजिए shiraz@propertybrothers.com।
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Straight Bat with Devesh. As you know, we are in conversation with Mr. Zafar, the President of Cricket Ontario, and we are having a very good chat about different aspects and different problems in cricket in Canada. And one of my favorite topic is about the quality of cricket in Ontario, because we know it is one of the biggest place as far as cricketing activity is concerned and the population is concerned. So we also focus more about the quality in Ontario, right? So, and this is my personal observation. When I go and see all the elite matches, forget about Super 9. And I know you don't have a direct say in those things because these are the leagues who organize these matches. But I see that there is it's not a symmetrical kind of situation as far as quality is concerned. Some teams are good, some teams are not even fit enough to play elite matches. But because they pay the money, they are in the team and they are playing elite or high level matches. And I was last week I was playing one of them, and I see a lot of players were unfit, including myself. So how do you notice these things, and do you work with the local leagues and your members to correct these situations? You know, because this also talks about and point to the area where we don't have a good quality matches going on. So if they are not good quality matches on the ground, how you expect a better quality team to build for Canada? So what is your take on it?
I think every league has their own structured program to run the different level of competition, right? And some team has been weak, as you said, right? And some teams have been very strong. I think there are club who has a historical, the background of running the league and the teams. So obviously, what I have observed, right, that many teams at elite level are introducing youth and a mixture of youth and the veterans, right, seniors, to play together. I think I'm not surprised of that because some of the under 18 players that plays in our winter camps, right, are playing the elite level, and if the youth have not given chance at that level, right, then they will not go to improve. So TDCA, for example, they have a super elite where all the polished player competition is very good. Foreign player comes and play. Then they go back to the elite level. There may be one or two teams where just play with the veterans. And those veterans are not something that you play the, social cricket. I think they play the competitive cricket, and they have been a competitors, right?
Yeah.
So professionally, the skill-wise, they are mature skill players. So now when they compete against the youngster come in, youngster may beat them on the field by running around and doing this, but I think they cannot. They can only learn from their experience that how they play them, right? So competition level, somewhere may be weak, somewhere may not. The BDCL is also the same.
Because why I raise this question, because I feel that when it comes to selections, right, when you are looking at the player's statistic, you say, okay, this guy has hit like 4 centuries. But you never know against whom he is hitting those centuries. Are those competitive opponents, or what quality of bowlers he is facing and what quality fielders he is facing? So that's why I think if you are looking at Super 9 or Elite for your team selection, then you have to collaborate with local leagues to make to raise the standard of the elite club, because elite sounds to me like elite Division 1, the top level game and tournament. But if on the ground it is not the reality, then I'm afraid that we are not going to produce a very quality player in the future.
Well, you brought up the century, the conversation.
Just an example.
Example. So I'm just saying, if somebody makes a century, century is a century. This guy is showing you some talent or skill set that he's making a century. Don't matter where you make it, you need a lot of patience, right, and the temperament to play it or make the century, no matter what level it is. So if he has a temperament, then he obviously has some skill to make the century, right? So that part is, we have to recognize it no matter who that is, right? Now the second part that you touch base on it, that yes, we have to improve. Yes, at the league level, as a Cricket Ontario, I don't have any mandate to tell them, hey, this thing is not working fine, this thing is working well, right? They are some very good people, and their organization has improvement to make, right? And obviously, when you have so many leagues, and if a team continue to move with their ladder of the progression and the awarding them the grant to go into the league, so they basically have their structure to set. So
no, but you already have the solutions, right? When you are talking about Central T20, as you said, that the objective of Central T20 is to create a pool of players, right? So why not we create every year? We create a pool of players who are like at equal level, and then let them play among themselves. Divide 2-3 teams, and okay, now perform and show us. So at least we can say, okay, there is an equal opportunity for everyone, and it is not that somebody get the weaker bowling, somebody get the stronger bowling. So we can judge at one level. That's my point.
I think you're coming down to the selection process of or identification process of a good talent, right? At the Cricket Ontario level, right? Whenever we select the people for the tournament, like today we had our this week we have our under 16 tournament, right?
Yeah.
So we select the 30 odd players for our winter camp. It starts in January till April, right?
Okay.
And then we go through the open trial. We look at the stats, and then we select the people.
And where this trial is going to happen?
No, trial happens, already happens, right?
Okay.
And then we go through the season, observe their monitoring their progress, and then we invite some people back to it, right? And then they go through. So all these people that earlier you indicated, that the Aslan Khan, Faisal, Damgandi, Akash Gill, and other people, they all have been through our program, right? Not to, I don't want to take all the credit that our program has produced them. I think their coaches and the academy has worked very hard with them to bring it up to that level. But when it comes to the Cricket Ontario umbrella, and we select 30 players to go to the national championship, the Canada Cup, then we do a thorough selection through the based on skill set and the performance and their previous their analysis.
And who are your selectors?
My selectors, my selectors depends on the criteria of it. I have a coaching pool, right? So coaching pool for Kirmani is in a coaching pool. Mukesh Narula is on a coaching pool. Sharif Budu is in this coaching pool. Previously, we have different people involved into it. We used to invite Chima and other people, national player, to observe the player and do it, right? So we do make changes as we go down, right? And then we train them. Zubin Sarkari was a part of our pool in the coaching and the selection panel before. So we are establishing the ground. Now we will probably in the future have a selection committee to do that. But everybody, the coaches or selector, we usually do their thorough CV.
And there is no interference from the management. Selectors are independent.
Absolutely.
No interference. Because there are a lot of talk about in Cricket Canada that nobody is taking the responsibility of the team. So I don't know if the selector has selected the team or management had selected because I need a clear-cut policy where I can say, okay, this is my selection committee, right? And if the selection committee minutes of meetings are there, everything is recorded. Why this player was selected, not selected, everything is recorded and transparent. If I look at it, okay, say I am satisfied. Even I do not agree with the logic that why you selected this guy, at least it is recorded and minutes of meeting is there. Today in Cricket Canada, I see that everything is missing.
I think it will be very inappropriate for me to talk about Cricket Canada policy
and
procedure.
No, but you are also a member, right? So
yeah, but no, I'm a member, but they have their own process to follow, right?
So
which I respect their process to follow.
Yeah.
I do my part of it. If you come to my selection process, I personally sit down as the chair of any selection committee sitting down there, and I give them the guidelines that what they have to look. They mark the player numbers. We go through down there. Somebody says, well, I gave him 6. Somebody says, I give him 9. Then question comes up. Why are you giving 9 and why are you giving a 6? And you can come down to my meeting. You're more than welcome to sit as an observer and see how the processes work.
So have you heard about the agile methodology?
Agile methodology, you have to refresh me. I'm too old for to remember those things.
Okay. Someday I will just update you. And I think and I'm very happy that when you said that you're looking to make it a very professional way, professional management, and I think that is a very good thinking. But think about it, because there are certain processes you can define which is very, very good and time tested. Management can sit in the selection meetings, but they cannot vote, and I hope Cricket Ontario is doing the same thing, because I don't understand if Cricket Canada is doing it. If somebody come from Cricket Canada, I will ask him, but I hope that Cricket Ontario is doing the same policy.
When we select the people, my job as a president or as a vice president previously, right, I sit down to observe, and like sometime you do is the as a fairness commission, right, for example. So I sit there and they decide to what it is. My question is to ask them questions when I feel that if somebody says, well, I give him a 6 mark and I give him an 8 mark, or I give him a 9 mark, right, then you have to justify that why 6 and 9 there's a big gap, why there's a big gap, and then you're insisting that same player has a certain 9 marks I'm in here and same player has 6 marks here. There has to be some justification for it, that why you have it. So either you're going to change or he's going to change, but you have to discuss and define that, okay, I saw this, somebody convinced, and go through. So I invite you, that you come and sit on those process for next year when we go into the winter cap and see that how the process works for the open trial.
Okay, and this is a promise
Absolutely
you are doing
promise.
in the front of
any promise.
my
Not only
audience.
you, anybody who wants to sit as an observer, you can sit and I'm ready to take the what you call the creative, the criticism, right? But I don't want to get into the debate and discussion of questioning my selector. I stand behind them, right? And I speak on behalf of them when the thing comes in. So
thank you very much, Mr. Shah Zafar. And this is a breaking news that Mr. Shah Zafar has invited me to go in their selection process and sit as an observer. And I would love to do that, and just I want to upgrade myself and see how this process goes through. Maybe it will be education for me as well, maybe I'm not aware of certain facts, and I will love to see that.
I'll show you the previous Shaksu when we have the, I keep most of the stuff that selection process goes, numbers been given to people and all that stuff. So if somebody want to do the audit, be most than welcome to do it.
One thing, couple of more questions, and then we are going to wrap it up. One of my favorite topic, and I always get into this and try to understand. There are a lot of talk about HP program, and I know you don't have to do anything with that. That is Cricket Canada initiative. But from Cricket Ontario side, what are the initiative you are doing, and don't you think that you should collaborate more with the local clubs and association to or leagues to develop the players rather than taking it as your own responsibility?
So let me update you a little bit, right? Cricket Ontario has started the winter training camp program and a development program for the under 16, under 18 for the last probably 6 years. Right?
Okay.
It has been structured, it's been written, it's been documented, right? Sometimes you sit down with me, I'll go over with those documents with you, say, okay, this is how things been designed. The policy procedures have been defined. How do we select the players? Those been defined in there. So we go down and we select the people. And at this particular time, I have to recognize the parents of all the people who are in 2014, right? Are the one who really helped me out with financially management, right? And the selection process of it, because their support was a key that what we are doing today. If they would not have been there, and they would have some reservation like other people have, right? So we would not be in here, right? We would have been some other place, and people have been running away. So my thank you to all the parents who have supported us so far in Cricket Ontario, and I expect that your continued support will be there for me. And again, Cricket Ontario, not me, Cricket Ontario. So what we do is that when we select people for under 18, they are in our program for the next 4 years. So this year, qualifier, the 11 players are in Canadian team are from our camp, like a winter camp, our skill development program. So they run through January to April. After that, they go into a couple of the months outside training, outdoor, and then they have their performance tournament in the August, right, this year. And this year, our program produces that 50% or 60% are the age group, and then the 40% are the lesser age group, which are 2 years. We're looking at 2 years ahead. So 2022, right? We already have people who are going into the 2020 World Cup. We're already training them for the last 2 years, and they will be ready for the next 2 years. So you should come down and see our winter program. I'll personally will send you an invitation to come and see how our training program works. Right?
And as you said, this program is going for last 6 years, right?
Yeah.
So
more than 6 years. Yeah.
More than 6 years. So who are those players which has produced, which you think you are proud of, has produced, was product of these programs? Like, can you name it?
As I mentioned before, like our system only fine-tune them, bring them together so they can play at the same level as everybody else is playing in there. Prominent place. Then first year we send it out. Aslan Khan is one of them. Right, he was here, and as I say, like their academy, their coaches have helped them out a great deal, but they have been part of our program. Akash Gill is Emmanuel Coker is part of that. Akash Gill, I already mentioned that, and there are more coming up in this one. There's 11 of them here that playing this one. So every year, 10, 11 are from the Ontario.
I would love to come and see those players and see their progress, how they progress, and it is really a good initiative, and I would like to dig into and see how it is benefiting the cricket in Canada. Coming back to the conflict of interest, and it just came to my mind, and I don't blame this to the management. The problem I see is that, like in coaching style, right? So, if there is a national coach or a cricket association coach, if they are not salary paid, then they have to go back to their basic necessity, right? And they have to run their own personal coaching classes. Now, here I see the conflict of interest, right? So why do you think that or Cricket Ontario or Cricket Canada has a plan to make it a salary based fixed tenure for like couple of years, so that he can say this is my salary, so I don't have to do anything else and go for a conflict of interest?
I think I really appreciate you asking this question, because I think this question public need to know that.
Yeah.
Right? At Cricket Ontario, when we were not recognized by the government as an official governing body, and we were not getting a funding, right? Then all the volunteer work that people, coaches, were doing, were not compensated for it, right?
Yeah.
Since we start getting the funding, all these coaches that we have, they do get compensated for their time and effort, right? But not up to the level that they should be, right? But minimum whatever we can afford, right? And we program in a budget. We do. There's a participation fee for people to players to participate in it also, right? So that sort of offset the cost, because funding is not $100,000. Funding comes in at $40,000. So that comes into the different performance-based program, development program, and all that. The coaches we do select. We have a strict policy, right? Unwritten policy, but I would think I will make that as a policy that if they are part of the Cricket Ontario coaching staff, right? Then they're not taking the person to go out and do one-on-one coaching with them. Okay, so none of our coaches do that. They have their own academies, right? The player can go down to their own academies, and they can be part of that. Is fine. Whatever they do within their academy, that is fine. So if you look at the our coaches, then they're not going to say, okay, you come to me tomorrow and do that. The moment I find out that they are recruiting players to come to them, there is a disciplinary action taken usually, right? So I tell them that, okay, no, this is a no-no. So that is our policy, right?
But
now,
yeah,
if we go to the next stage, right? All these coaches, we see their CV, we have their interviews, and they've been told exactly what I said to you, and they understand what is happening. So, and then we also do, this is very important for the parents' perspective, that all these coaches go through the police check to make sure that they're clean, right, before they come into our system. Otherwise, they know. So, if you go and look at our website and look at the voluntary screening policy, we strictly follow those things.
Okay, so there is a complete criminal checks and
Absolutely.
background check before they are appointed.
Absolutely.
But personally, what do you think, that it should be a salary-based position, permanent position for fixed period? I know there is a constraint about the financial, but I think going forward, and that is one of my problem as well, that Cricket Canada or Cricket Ontario or any association, I'm not pointing at your organization, they don't have other means to organize the fund mobilization. Don't you think that you should do more to bring more funds into the association?
Well, absolutely. I think this is the dream of any organization, just not cricket, is any organization. Every other organization runs separately. I have a background in a major sports organization. What they do, their structure of development or their structure of management are different than Cricket Ontario is, right? Their development of structure is that they outsource everything and they run on the, the basis of private, the clubs, right? And they register the clubs into it. So you go to the elite club and elite club charge $500 to them, is not their business, right? All they say, well, I need a club competition, you come and participate. Cricket Ontario is a member club, so you have to, they're different structure, right? But I totally agree with you that I think in Dreamline, now we have been 3 years since we got recognized by the government, and we are making headways. We have hired a consultant to look into the funding applications, so hopefully we will generate income in the future. But I tell you, this is not an easy thing, but it's not impossible, right?
Okay. This is just for my information and my audience information, that what is the process to include a new member or to kick out some old member who are not following the guidelines? Is through the AGM, or you can do by any other
the
means? Process
laid down in the Constitution. I think the process is very simple. If any organization who wants to become the Cricket Ontario member, they submit the application with their financial statement and their guidelines, with their registration, the government registration permit, right? The certificate, and to the Board of Directors. Board of Directors are the elected body of the Cricket Ontario, who are doing the operational of the whole organization. And then there's a board of control. The board of control happens 3 times a year, right? We just recently had one. These obligations get forwarded to them, right? After all the checks and balances done, that they're legit and not something open up today and then tomorrow they're gone, or somebody gets elected and they want to be a part of the association for some reason, right? Then board of directors get explanation. We explain them that this membership application has come in and these are things, this is legit and all that stuff. Every member looks at it. There's a conflict of operating in the same area or what the issue could possibly be. We try to resolve that and make them work together, right? And then they vote on it, say, yeah, we accept them or we don't accept them. So it's a board of directors who accept them. Ours as a board of directors job is to file the people to them. It is the body who runs the organization. They appointed us and we give them the chance.
Okay, so board of directors meetings are fixed. There are fixed time during the year, or it just on demand they do the meeting?
No, we cannot fix the timing for those because the season is running, so everybody's busy into those.
Yeah, okay.
But we try to do the at least 2 meetings during the season, and then we do the season off season, couple of meetings, and then we have our development and planning meeting in January for the following season. So that's where the major things comes in. If you do like to attend a meeting from planning meeting, I'll send you an invitation as a guest to look at it. How our planning meeting comes forward and what we talk, how we do the business, just to educate you a little bit more how our operation is.
And this is common for all the association, or just it depends? It can varies. I'm just trying to educate myself.
No, I'm just telling you about my organization and my management style and what my management style is. My board of directors are behind me for saying this, that our board of directors is very open. Our association is very open and transparent for anything that you want to look at, from financial statement down to the policy procedure. We comply with or not comply. More than welcome to do it. We're not going to hide anything from anybody about it. Okay. Even the parents, this is very important. Even the parents, winter camps happens. When winter camps is finished, we give them the accountability of the budget and actuals, that what they contributed, how much we contributed, and this is what they left over, where this money is going. So this is the furthest we can go. So you're more than welcome to see. You're more than welcome to ask questions.
Yeah.
And just to see how our process works. I want people to know that Cricket Ontario in future is going to be very upfront, a business-like organization.
Great.
And had to be transparency there.
Okay. Well, enough of tough questions. Now I would like to see your lighter side of your part. So you belong to Pakistan, right? Basically. So do you watch movies, Bollywood movies, or Pakistani movies, or Hollywood movies? What is your favorite choice?
Oh, that's my lighter side is that I've been here for almost about 47 years, right?
So you're Canadian.
So I'm born in Pakistan, raised in Pakistan to my teens, right? But my adult life has been in Canada. It is a natural that when you have spoken the common language at home, right? You intend to watch the TV. And I do watch programs. I don't go to the movie theaters to watch movies, but I think Bollywood is everywhere.
Yeah.
That you go and watch.
What was the last movie you watched on TV?
Oh, Bajirao.
Bajirao? Okay. You liked it?
Oh, yeah.
And what is your favorite food?
Biryani.
Oh, biryani. Chicken biryani?
Chicken biryani.
Great. And your favorite actor?
Oh, that's a good question.
All time.
That's a good question. All time.
No, I want to show the other part of Mr. Shah Zafar.
All time favorite is Dilip Kumar.
Dilip Kumar?
He was all time favorite.
Yusuf Khan.
All time favorite.
Very nice.
Younger one you wanted Shah Rukh Khan. No,
Shah Rukh Khan, okay, good.
All time favorite.
Now this is the last question, and I promise no twist. Who is your favorite team in this time World Cup 2019? Which team you are supporting? I caught you.
No,
you need to be careful.
No. I was supporting the well, there are two teams that I support. India, I think, has a talent pool that can take it, right? And the surprise team was Pakistan and England. One of those two teams will surprise.
Okay, great. With this, we come to an end of this program, and thank you very much to accept my invitation and come and face my queries. And you are very nice and gentle and polite, and I was completely surprised. that because I have not seen an administrator as forward, as open as you, and this is my frank opinion, but this is my personal opinion. And so with this we come to an end, and I hope you guys enjoyed this program and try to educate yourself the way how difficult it is to manage the cricket administration or cricket in Ontario. So with this we come to an end, and we'll see you after 1 week with a different guest, with a different program, with a different topic. See you.
This might be out. Taken comfortably. That's a good catch in the deep. 1 run needed. This might run away to the boundary.